Hello there, beautiful people. It is another episode of Holistic Love, the place where you can find great advice, really dive deep into the human psyche, and find the juicy tidbits of how love and relationship play in our psyche, our life, and how we can become more holistic. I'm Fox RedSky. I am your astrologer. I'm your matchmaker. And most important, I'm here with you on this journey of love, experiencing it just and falling and stumbling and doing all the things with you. So today, guys, oh my goodness, I have a very special guest, someone that I actually deeply love and has really brought me into a place of holistic love, and that is my partner, my best friend, my husband, Payton Aldridge. Can you just say hello to the audience?
Hello, everybody. Yes.
So, y'all guys, I'm so excited to really just kind of share with y'all a little bit of my own personal love story and kind of give you, what is the word? Some real life entertainment. Like this is me being vulnerable. This is me opening up. This is me sharing with you my personal story and my personal life. And the person that I have chosen to share my life with until the day I die and go through the ups and the downs with. And so yes, Payton, just tell us a little bit about who you are. I mean, I could go on and on and on about you, but just share with the audience, what is your personal mantra? What do you really value in this world, so that people can fall in love with you the way I did?
Well, I guess really I value all the things that made me fall in love with you in the first place, Fox. Your honesty, your amazingly beautiful golden heart. You know, it's weird. Fox is one of the few people I've ever met that I always know exactly what she's going to do, because I know she's going to do the right thing. She's going to do exactly what I would do, even if it means throwing herself under the bus. And so that's so rare to find in this world. And I love you, Fox. Yes. Might be the only time you get to see this on this podcast, but yeah, I value that. I value honesty. You know, I've more than anything, everything I do, I try to do from a win-win situation. You know, it's like I don't ever want to get something over on somebody, but I'm not letting anyone get anything over on me either. So, yeah, I kind of look at everything from that perspective. And I know that Fox does too. And so that's one of the reasons I'm so in love with this amazing woman. So.
Oh, I love you too, baby. So I guess we could share with the audience a little bit about how we first met and like what brought us into each other's lives. And I mean, I could tell that story, or we could tell that story.
I think you should tell that story. You do it so well.
So essentially, I was on another date with somebody else that was going just perfectly dumpster fire style. I think it was like my third date, and I already knew, like, no, this is not the person I want to be with at all. And I saw this beautiful man who kept on trying to approach me. You know, he was really he just saw something in me. And he was like, there was like 2 or 3 times, we're at this beautiful Westlake mansion, you know, just getting, you know, just networking and doing all the things. And finally my date decided to excuse himself and go, you know, talk to someone else. And yeah, I got to really just immediately see your light. And I don't know how our conversation started, but it's something with like, I'm Chickasaw, I'm Apache, oh my God, da, da, da. I don't know, we just like, it was just this beautiful spark, and it just has grown into a beautiful fire that I just cherish with every moment of my life.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we went to lunch the very next day, and we've never been apart. And we celebrated the 27th of every month ever since, because it's when we met. This
is very true. So any couples out there, share with them. That was a kind of a ritual we kind of started at the very beginning of our relationship.
Absolutely. And you know, it's so important to have these little rituals. You've got to have things every day, if possible, that help remind you that, hey, we're in this together. Because if you don't do that, then the opposite happens. You start to bring home your problems from work and your problems with the day, and you take it out on your loved one. Where if every day you have just a little text recent, hey baby, I love you, hope all's going well, that kind of thing, just a little check-in to let you know that it's just the two of you. And then each month we do that on the 27th. We celebrate our love for one another and our anniversary. You know, sometimes it's not a big deal. Sometimes it is a big deal. Sometimes we go out to dinner and do the whole giant date thing with presents and the whole 9 yards. You know, I think we celebrated our 200th day and our 500th day, and you know, just out of the blue have a massive celebration for something that for us is important. You know.
Yeah, I really value, and for our audience, you know, that's wanting to, you know, you don't have to have an anniversary once a year. Like, I think we have one of our goals is to just keep getting married over and over, and just keep having a ceremony and keep having a ceremony. But like something that you taught me, Payton, was that all those little things matter. You know, all those little reminders matter, because a lot of times, you know, things come up, right? You know, we get, somebody cuts us off at work, or we, you know, have to deal with family issues or whatever's going on. And just to get that little beautiful reminder that, hey, I'm here for you. I love you. I appreciate every moment with you. And that means so much to me, and that means the world. And I really thank you for starting that tradition with me and living that with me. And for anyone at home, it's really simple, just having a monthly anniversary. We just chose the very day that we met, October 27th. So every 27th of the month, we would allow ourselves an opportunity to love each other and remind ourselves how lucky we were to meet each other. And so thank you for that. And
spectacular doesn't just happen.
No.
So if you want spectacular, you have to go a few extra steps. But it's the little things, little bitty things. And I would like to take full credit for all of this, but the reality is I stole it. One of my stepmothers and her husband, they have a deal, they call it an old baby letter. And he was asking her what it would take for her to feel loved and adored. And she goes on and on and on, talking forever. And then finally she goes, and I need a love letter every day. And he's like, every day? Are you kidding me? She's like, every day. And so they call it an oh baby letter. And it's every day. And normally it's just a little text. Sometimes it's just a oh baby text. That's it. Someday it's maybe saying, hey, you know, here's a growth opportunity for you. Sometimes it might be pornographic. I don't know. But it's just something, a little touching every day. Just to remind each other, like I said, that we're in this together. You know, it's you and me against the world, and all these other things that are happening out there. They don't matter to our relationship that we have. And if you don't check in constantly, and if you're not always reigniting that and making sure that that's in the forefront, then it's so easy to fall into that trap where you start getting apart from one another and start building walls and letting a little daily things become personal between the two of you. And you don't even know why. You don't even know why you know, the other person has no idea what your wall is made of. And so.
Yeah. So just thank you for all of the growth that you've helped me too. You know, I really feel like, you know, just wanting to share with you and the world that you have made me better in so many ways. Not, you know, not that I was completely without, you know, like that I didn't have a lot to bring to the table in my own, you know, what is the word? Lessons and my own moral code and my own discipline and things like that. But you made me see the world in ways that I hadn't seen before, and you helped me grow beyond that current version of myself to what I would say I am today. You know, and I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for that, and I love you for that. And to the audience, if you know, that's what a relationship should be. Y'all should always be helping each other grow and level up to the next version of yourself. To the next, you should. If you're just staying stagnant or if you're you know, actually taking steps back, that's not probably the right relationship for you. But that's a good question I want to ask. When did you realize that I was the right one?
God, almost immediately. We went to lunch like very soon after that first time that we met, and we've just never been apart. And I think I knew for sure, I knew that I was falling for you, but I knew for sure that very first Christmas, it was like, what do you want for Christmas? And you're like, gosh, there's really nothing I need. What do you want for Christmas? I said, yeah, me neither. I said, I'd really love to do something for somebody. And so we did. Remember, we made soup and went and gave to like 30 people that were out there in the cold hungry. So I guess at that moment, I guess I knew that, you know, yeah, you weren't just some greedy girl after whatever, that you had the same values as me, and that things that were important to me were also important to you, and helping other people and putting other people first, and you know, and those are really how you got to live your life. You know, if you can put other people first and do the best you can, and always do the right thing, and how do you know if it's the right thing?
If you got to ask.
That's right. If you have to ask, it's not the right thing, because you know if it's the right thing. And so if you just live your life by those things, and if you can find someone else that lives their life by the same values, whatever they are that you have, you know, if you find someone that kind of lives by those same mantras or values, then I think you'll do well together. So
Absolutely.
not to mention, you know, I'm not really into astrology and all these things, but my wife really is. She's amazing at it, and she looked it all up, and she goes, we're breaking the charts here. I mean, you know, we're so different in so many ways, and yet astrologically we're just like a dynamo, some kind of crazy match.
That's a really good point you bring up, baby. Is that, like, I think that sometimes we get in our head that that the person that we are supposed to be with is supposed to be identical to us, and
or
that's,
you hold them up to something,
right?
6'3", you know, fine
yeah,
hands,
whatever, like, image we think that is supposed to be the person that we're destined to be with, and then, like, that's not at all it, you know. And so, you know, just to kind of for clarification for the audience, I'm a matchmaker and an astrologer, but also, you know, if anyone were to try to match us up, they probably wouldn't have done that. Like, we come from two very different backgrounds, you know. I come from the streets, and I've lived a very hard, rough life, and Payton, you know, hung around the country club, and, you know, did not ever lack for love and attention or food, and you know, and just not even just that, but other things that make us very different.
Yes.
But in the same way, it was almost what the other one needed.
Absolutely.
You know?
You've helped my growth so much. I mean, I've changed completely. I've become more myself, and I've allowed myself to love myself for the first time in a level that I did not before, because of you. So thank you.
Oh, always. Mm-hmm. Always. But yeah, so for the audience out there, if you think that you need this kind of a guy and they've got to come from this background, and they, you know, like, you could be completely wrong. You have no idea what you might need. And I think in my mind, I always thought I needed someone who was really into the Native American church like I was, or really into this, like, spiritual way of being. And the truth of the matter is, Payton is in a lot of ways just exactly doing all the spiritual things, because it's not through our spiritual systems that we are executing or expressing our spirituality. It's actually through our deeds. Yeah. And every time that we behave through kindness, through helping others, that's really showing whether or not you know, whatever your religious beliefs are, that's really showing who you are at your core. And that, to me, is what a spiritual man is. And Payton, you have those things in spades. And I love that I have, you know, a best friend that makes me laugh all the time. And, you know, the bedroom, I can never complain, ever, ever, ever. But, like, the fact that I can tag team and help be of the greatest service to the world, whether it's just, like, randomly, we both, like, that one time in Florida, we saw that homeless woman, and you immediately recognized that she had a stroke, and you're calling people for her. And we didn't even, like, communicate this to each other. I, you know, run into the store and I buy her, like, you know, groceries and things like that. You are the man that there's no man I've ever met that has that level of compassion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Your golden heart received you, baby, so.
It's very rare, and I love that about you. And then I get to experience that, y'all guys. I mean, I recognize in this very, very messed up world where men and women have this very confused notion about what love and partnership is and what the dating world is, like, how lucky we are, you know?
Yeah, we really
that
are.
We found each other in the sea of assholes, excuse my language, in the sea of jerks and users, that two givers found each other.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, and like you said, we matched up really, really well. It's interesting because most people tend to pick their mates on superficial things, looks and status and all these kind of things. And while it's important, you must be attracted to someone physically and visually, etc. Most people base all their looks on everything on that, and that's just Tinder. I mean, you're just playing Tinder in real life then, and there's so much more to it because those things fade, but other things don't fade. You're who you truly are in your core and your beliefs and the way you treat, the commonalities that you have, the things that at a deeper level connect you and match you up are important. And I've never even really been into astrology or any of that, and I see you use it all the time to match these people in such an amazing way, and you've been able to show me the things as well, how we match up. So it's it's a good thing, and you got to match on that deeper level. You kind of have to broaden your horizon sometimes in life. Otherwise, you're just looking for that one little cookie cutter thing, and typically the cookie cutter that you're looking for is a visual thing, and so when it comes down to actual depth and the meat, over time you realize it's not there, and then you kind of go apart.
Right. I believe that is our in the Disney world, like basically, essentially, we're a woman that's waiting for their Prince Charming, or a man that's waiting for this perfect person. They don't exist. There's no perfect person. I'd like for that person to exist, but none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. And so, like, I think what you're trying to say is that a lot of people, men and women included, get into this habitual habit of like, well, they've got to check all these boxes and this, and is it really based in reality, and are they possibly shunting themselves from something that they don't even know is possible to experience?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, my love.
Well, just like my situation, I'd finally made it to the finish line. I have 2 boys from a previous marriage, and I had them when I was pretty young. Not that young, I was in my 20s, but I had them when I was pretty young. And I'd finally crossed that finish line. They weren't asking for money every month, at least. They were still asking some, but it wasn't every month. I mean, I'd kind of crossed that finish line where they were fully launched on their own, pretty much. And so had a matchmaker come to me and asked me, I would have said, well, they can have kids, but no one younger than 10 or something, and yet here I am with you. I got a 5-year-old daughter, which was the greatest gift in the world. She's 10 now. She's amazing. And had I written it down on paper what I wanted, that might not have been in there, because like I said, I'd finally made it to that finish line. So you just never know. And it's turned out to be one of the greatest gifts in my life, one of my greatest areas for personal growth, because she tests me sometimes. I also get to have a daughter, and she's amazing. I have a daughter that's just like, oh, she's so smart, and I know that she's going to be something huge, because she's she doesn't let up. She knows what she wants and she goes for it. So
yeah, she's kind of like Mama.
Yes, her name is Fire Lily, and she is fire for sure. So,
Not a lot of Lily yet, but
there's some Lily in there, but never name your dog Destructo, right? So.
I know that we don't have very much time. Thank you so much, audience out there, by the way, for just listening to my personal story. My husband has never done a podcast or been on Holistic Love, so this is a first for him and for us. And I just wanted to share with y'all the beautiful man that I fell in love with, and who I gave my heart to, because I really value you because you lead through service. And I see this as a quality that is very lacking in men in general, but you just have it in spades. You have it in spades, and I'm so grateful for everything. And y'all ladies, I'm spoiled. I get the door open for me. I get meals made for me. My husband treats me like a queen, and then some. But I would like to share one more story before we leave. So is there any story that you can think of that you'd like to share? I know we've done many adventures. We have we got a church together. We've started, excuse my language, we've started so many businesses together.
We shot a trailer for your movie.
We shot a trailer for my movie. We bought a house in Costa Rica.
Yes, we lived in Costa Rica.
Whichever story out of the many hundreds of stories of that you want to share with the audience that really you think depicts me or depicts us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we should let's tell them about this place, when I first came to this place, where they have all of the equipment and everything to do these amazing podcasts and shoot movies. You know, Fox had done her documentary. They just finished it, so she knew everybody. And we decided to go film a trailer for her movie. And at first we were actually going, she had released her documentary on the Lost Tribes of Texas. And so tribes all over the United States were inviting us to come in and show it to them. And we were so excited. We were leaving on March 17th on St. Patrick's Day. I was so excited about it. And March 7th, the world stopped and they shut everything down.
Yes.
And so we didn't do that. We kind of floundered for a minute, and we decided instead to just go ahead and go shoot the trailer for the movie that you were wanting to do, a movie about Lozin. So Lozin was kind of the Joan of Arc of the Native American people. She was amazing. Oh my God, she led men into battle. She was one of that last group of Chiricahua Indians that were, is that right?
Chiricahua.
Chiricahua, okay, there we go. That were running from the United States and outdoing them. It was her and Geronimo and her brother who was a chief and all these people. And they ran from her for years, and she had this power, this ability to kind of see where the enemy was and when they'd be coming. And so the Indians could set up in these amazing situations where they could do a lot of damage and just disappear without a whole lot of risk. And they did this for a long time, but this woman's been lost to history. They had so many names for her. They called her Ghost Killer.
Killer of enemies, horse thief, ghost killer, because she could just go in and devastate the troops. And
yes, she would go in at night and slit their throats in their tents, and then steal their horses and kill that guy too, and take off. They'd wake up missing horses and have a bunch of dead people. And she did these over and over. And of course, her and Geronimo finally turned themselves in. They were some of the last, and you know, white man whitewashed the Indian story to start with, and then any woman in history that's ever been great, man, has always tried to keep down. So Lozin's lost to the world. The world needs to know about her because she did so many amazing things. She's someone that all the Indian girls, in fact, all of the little girls and people in the world could look up to and go, wow, you know, we came from something amazing, and that women have amazing abilities. And Lozin was one of a kind. So we're still going to make the movie one day. One day we're going to come back and make it.
And I think we had barely known each other, though. That was like month 3, y'all guys. That was like 3 months into the relationship.
That's right. Well, we met in October
we were just
of 19 and
boom, power.
We were meeting in March of 2020.
Yeah, we were just from the get-go.
Yes.
From the get-go. But anyway, my beloved, my sweetheart, I just want to say thank you so much for coming here today on Holistic Love. You've been the divine inspiration for my book, 7 Easy Steps to Attract Your Soulmate. You've been the inspiration for Holistic Love, the podcast, and for my company, Cosmic Matchmaking, because I didn't feel like I could match anyone until I could match myself, and I have for sure found my soulmate. So thank you for the man you are and becoming.
I hope.
Well, audience, thank you. This is Fox out. I don't know what else to say. It's really hard not to get teared up, and I just know that love is real, that you're deserving of love, and that all things are possible. And as soon as you let go and let God, you will receive all the things you need. Talk to you soon.
There we go.